So here we have the Dyna Fat Bob, as I put on my glasses. So customer person came and saw it. Fun bike, ain't little. Fun. If you want to raise some hell, it's a good bike. Hey there everyone, it's Scott from Scott's Moto Adventures, and this is something totally different. I am riding a Harley. Oh yeah, listen to that. So this is a Dyna Fat Bob, and it's actually my dad's. He's trying to sell it. I'm gonna go ride it to a potential customer. And oh wow, oh, this is gonna be a mess here. This is actually a great little well, it's not a little, great bike. It's really powerful. I used to ride it when I would come back into town when I was in Michigan. I mean, this thing can do 120 no problem. I mean, like, I look down and be like, oh my god, I'm doing like close to some ungodly amount of speed, and it sounds awesome. I gotta say, my BMW handles better, and that's a big old tall bike. The thing with the Fat Bob is you have big wide front and rear tires, not like not as bad as, you know, like the Bat Cycle from The Dark Knight Rises, but it still handles kind of like that. But yeah, really powerful bike. Has flames, custom paint job. My brother actually bought it. My dad had to co-sign. This was for sale at a local Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki dealership, and he ended up buying it. Like, somebody traded it in for something else. They didn't like it, or, you know, maybe I don't know what they did. They could have done something as simple as, like, could have got like a side-by-side or something. Who knows? It's been that long. This bike is really comfortable. I've ridden this to the Poconos and back a few times. I'm not a Harley guy. I do respect those who like Harleys. I actually, I shouldn't say I'm not a Harley guy. Pan America looks very interesting. It's not my favorite. I would like it more if it had a 900cc engine and it was more competitive with the F900s and not the R1250 or 1300. And yeah, like, I know, like, some people aren't happy with Harley. I'm not happy with the live wire situation. I mean, that's just an arm of the company to take government money. But we, as the, you know, the government's kind of stupid for giving it to them. And then the other thing is, like, they just moved production over to Thailand, and, you know, like, guys, it's kind of bullshit, you know. That's bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong, the RevMax bikes aren't really selling well right now, but at the same time, moving production so you can save a couple of bucks isn't really helpful. But this is all before the RevMax. This is all before the before all that. I mean, this was out when the V-Rod was out, which is a totally different I mean, I don't know how much the RevMax came out of the V-Rod. If you know, let me know. Like, I thought the V-Rod was a cool bike. I thought it was an evolutionary bike, and or a revolutionary bike. But it's just, I mean, those didn't sell. but you had power. If you got the right one, it had some power. But I think it just was ahead of its time. But since we're going to talk about Harley and water cooled, that was a close one, wasn't it? And I was putting on the brakes, so, and my turn signals aren't on. This has self-canceling turn signals. But right there, that's an example of loud pipes don't save lives. Whew. I got that on camera too, so yeah, that's scary. That is effing scary. And this isn't my normal bike, so I'm not used to it. But I'm not happy. Needs some more braking power. But yeah, Harley Davidson at one point had a in the late, as AMF was like ending its reign, they were gonna do like V4 water-cooled V4s. How cool would that have been? You know, that was like, you know, people think that Honda is the cocained up, 80s Honda is the cocained up, insane motorcycle company. But Harley was about to do that shit. You know, and they still display it, and it's a real shame they kind of stepped back from it. I don't know if they would have got backlash at that time. I don't know if the riders of that era would have been okay with it. Much like traditionalism in motorcycling is a big deal, and you know, you have like BMW. I ride a BMW, and it is called an oil head, but it has the twin cylinder. It is air cooled in a sense, but it is a, you know, it's an evolution of the original airhead motor, which was a true airhead and not an oil cooled engine. When the airhead came out, pop this down so you can actually hear me. When the you know, the airheads were kind of like getting long in the tooth, and BMW did everything in their power to keep them relevant, but they needed something new, so they came up with the K-bike, which at the time was a pretty cool bike, pretty revolutionary, and it was like a budget-friendly bike, at least on their end. Now I don't know about price-wise, but and actually it did share some electronic components with the airhead, like, you know, like switches and stuff. So it ended up being a pretty divisive bike, and they said, hey, this is the future of BMW, and the BMW, you know, faithfuls were like, nope. So they did not end up they ended up not, what's the word, they ended up kind of backtracking just a hair, or at least for a decade, with the K-bikes and the water-cooled, and basically the airhead engine stuck around till the mid-90s, until the oil head finally came out. And like I said, the oil head's a much better, I mean, that's what I have. I love it. Like, I kind of want to get a hex head just to see how much more refined it is. And when I say I want a hex head, I want like the earlier 1200s, not the bigger water-cooled 1200s. And then the 1250, you know, like I have no interest in a 1250 GS. That's too big of a bike for me. But yeah, like, I mean, the oil head for me is great. Like, it's the perfect, it's just, it's old school in a sense, you know, that it runs okay. but then it has fuel injection, which makes me feel better because I hate cleaning carbs. But yeah, like I said, the whole you know, BMW traditionalists really fought them tooth and nail, and they're still fighting to them to this day. I know with the GS 1300 there was a rumor that they were playing with the idea of not putting the opposed twin in, and I think they kind of realized soon, you know, sooner than later, that yeah, we can't do that or this thing's not going to sell. The traditionalists still want that style engine, even though it's water cooled. They, you know, the smart ones understand, hey, we can't get away with EPA standards, and that's kind of what's going on with Harley, I think. So I mean, that's kind of like they're eventually going to have to get rid of air-cooled engines. That sucks. But I mean, Volkswagen eventually had to walk away from it. I mean, even down in South America, they've walked away from air-cooled engines. And like up here, I mean, up here in the US, I mean, there's not a lot of air-cooled vehicles. Well, there's no cars. Motorcycles, you got Harley, you got a couple BMWs. We got our awesome R18 and the R9T, which is actually on my wish list. The R18 is not. It's a cool bike I kind of want to rent, but I don't want to buy. But the R9T is like, checks off all my boxes. It'd be like this, except handles better. And I don't really want the R9T12 or the R12 or whatever they're calling that. That's cool and all, but that's just, I don't need 1200cc of power. I'm not a big guy, and 900 is fine by me. Like I am just a boring guy. So I don't like to go above 85 miles an hour on a motorcycle. That's not my style. I don't mind getting somewhere, but you know, I do it at my own speed, which tends to be slower. I had a guy in my BMW group brag about how his 1250 GS can do 120. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Concert hall. See, I don't know if this would actually have been, oh, you know what, I have highway pegs. Oh my god, I have highway pegs. Didn't even realize that. I was gonna say, I don't know if this would have been a good bike for my highway ride over the weekend. I did a 800-mile ride to Erie, PA and back all in one day. I rode, it was basically to get Cottywomple and race, you know, Gran Turismo stuff, and then I got some beer and I rode a roller coaster. So that's awesome. Like that's how it ended up for me. Definitely gonna go back there. I thought it was a really neat town. I want to hit up that amusement park again, kind of in the beginning of the season when nobody wants to go out, but I had to get there. We're in late August here. I wanted to get there so I could actually ride a couple coasters, or ride a coaster. I wanted to do that so I wanted to do that because they're going to be closing after Labor Day for the season. That is how that company works. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, I don't think they have the labor. Whereas like Knoebels, you could tell there's a downgrade in quality once all the college kids leave. And even then, like this last couple of years, there hasn't been as many you know, the quality's gone down a little, and that's just everywhere. This thing does generate a lot of heat though. Like, I'm just sitting there minding my own business and got to wave to another Harley. looks like I'm getting close to the stopping point here. So thanks for joining me on my Harley Davidson ride. It's a very rare occurrence, but it's something I'll probably be doing that I'd love to do. It's not going to be a common thing, but hey, who knows, it might happen in the future. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later.